Hello, second grade. We're going to be working with Scratch for the next few weeks. And we worked with Scratch Junior earlier in the year, and now we're going to work with regular Scratch. So here's the website. And next year, I will give you your own account. I'm not going to give you an account this year because it's a little bit too hectic with us being out of the building. If you want to create your own account, you can ask your parents and you can do Join Scratch and create an account. But next year, when the children are in third grade and we're back in the building, I will give you an account to save your work. So when you're on this website, you're going to click Create. Takes a little bit of time to load. Okay, so we're going to close this out. And Sprite has a lot of different things you can do. You can do a background. You can have different Sprite characters. You have over here the different blocks. So let's go through some of these things. Over here, you see blue motion. These are all the motion blocks. If I add this over here and I click move, the cat sprite will move, right? I can make him turn. I can make him go to a spot. If I click over here and I make this 20, he's going to go to that spot. And we're going to talk about that later, how to figure out where he is on the screen. So we have glide. We're going to talk about that later as well. Purple is looks. We can have him say something. If I click it, he says hello. And you could change this and type what you want, and you could change this in here as well for how long you want him to say that. We have sound. We have different sounds over here. If you click this, right, he'll say his meow sound. And I'll show you later how to change your sounds. We have events for what you want to happen. So we could say, well, what do you want to happen when the space bar is clicked? What do you want to happen when the flag is clicked? What do you want to happen when you click on the cat? So those are events. Control, we have wait, and we have repeat. This is the repeat loop, just like we did with code.org. This is their version of the repeat loop, the repeat block. And they have the forever loop, which means you always do what's in that loop while the program is running. Here's our if-then conditional, and we also have if-then-else. So we had this with Tinker and code.org, and this is how they do it with Scratch. Sensing, we're not going to use this year. We'll use that next year and in fourth grade. Operations we'll use in fourth and fifth grade. And a variable we're not going to use this year. A variable is how you're going to make a score or a timer, which we'll talk about in third grade. So this week we're going to make a very short animation. And the first thing you need to do is you need to create a background. So I'll go down here. Okay. I click on choose backdrop and I'm going to go like this, choose a backdrop. And where do I want this to be? I want it to be in the bedroom, let's say. Okay, you pick wherever you want it to be. I want it to be in the bedroom. And now I have to pick who do I want to be in the bedroom. So I'll take the cat out. And I can go over here. And I could pick who I want. And I like this guy over here, Ben. I'll put Ben in here. And if you want to, you could even add other things in there as well. If you want to have another person that he's talking to, or another cat, you could add another person as well. So I'll add in, how about Devin? Okay, so now I got Devin here, and now I have Ben. So if I click on Devin, Devin gets the code. If I click on Ben, Ben gets the code. Okay, so we have different things. Now I could change their costumes. Okay, the costume is the design of the way the sprite looks. So you see I click on Ben over here, I click on Ben, and I go to costumes. Okay, now I want to give him a new shirt. Okay, by the way, you could click over here and you can make Ben look different, right? So I could pick which one of these I want to give Ben. I want him to look like this, or I like him like this. You pick the one that you like. I'll have him use this one. If I want to give Ben a new shirt, I can go to Paint Bucket, and I can change the color, and maybe I'll give him a little bit of, let's get a little blue. Okay, now I click over here. Now he's got a blue shirt. Okay, so see I paint that in? And you could even write. You could write in here if you would like. You could do a little paint in here. You could paint in here. You could change your color in here. And then you could, draw a little design on his shirt. And here you can make a big, see it's a big paintbrush, or here you can make it a small paintbrush. Okay, so there's a lot of different things you can do in here. And I could even say, let's say if I go to 221, 2, 2, 1. Now you see it says 221 in the shirt. Okay, so you could make him a 221 student if you would like. Okay, so that's costumes. If we click over here for code, now we're going to control what he looks like and what he says for our code. And the same thing with Devin. You could do the same thing with Devin. You can go to costumes with Devin if you would like, and you could give him a new outfit. But that's not what we're going to focus on now. We're going to focus on Ben. So if I want to code Devin, I click on Devin. If I want to code Ben, I click on Ben. So I got our 2 sprite characters, and I got our backdrop over here. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a little animation for Ben. Okay, so let's create an animation for Ben. And you know what, I could also even add somebody else in here if I want to before I end. Maybe I'll add in, I'll bring in Abby in as well. So I have a few people in the screen. That sometimes makes it more interesting if you have a few different people there. So now we got Ben, Abby, and Devin. Okay, so who do I want to code? I want to code Ben. So I'm going to click on Ben. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Events, and I'm going to do when the flag is clicked. So what I'm telling the computer here is I'm going to say, well, what do I want Ben to do when the flag is clicked? Okay, now the first thing I got to tell the computer is I got to tell the computer where I want Ben. Okay, now you can't just tell the computer, I want Ben to be over here, or I want Ben to be over there. You got to be very specific. So every spot on the screen has a different number. And it has an X number and a Y number. X is left and right, Y is up and down. So you see at this point, it's negative 153X and negative 37Y. If I move them over here, it's 186X and negative 24Y. So the first thing I got to decide is I got to decide where do I want to put Ben. I want to put Ben here. So I'm going to tell the computer when the flag is clicked. Okay, I got over here from Events. I drag the flag over here to the center, and I say when the flag is clicked, what do I want to happen? I want Ben to go to, where do I want him to go to? I want him to go right over here. Negative 174, so I'll put in the X, negative 174, and then I want him to go to negative 101Y. Y, negative 101. So now when I put Ben over here, when I click the flag, Ben starts there. Okay? So that's our first thing. Now, we want Ben to say something, so we go to looks. Okay, we go to looks. So motion is blue, looks is purple. So what do we want him to say? Maybe we'll say, hi, Devin and Abby. Okay, so he's going to say, hi, Devin and Abby. Okay, so now if I put Ben over here, I click the flag, he says, hi, Devin and Abby. Okay, what do I want him to do next? I could have him think. I could have him say hello. I could have him say something else. Let's have him do this. Let's say, let's go to school. Okay? I can change the time too if I only want him to say that for 1 second. So now we're going to have Ben start here, and he's going to say, hi, Devin and Abby. And then he's going to say, let's go to school for 2 seconds. Okay? Now I want him to move. So which one do I use for movement? I use blue motion. So he's going to move 10 steps. And I also want him to glide. So move 10 steps is a little bit, okay? Move 10 steps is not that much. We want him to move 10 steps, and then we want him to glide, because glide feels like walking. Where do we want him to glide to? We want him to glide to over here. And see, that's 176x and negative 98y. So to 176x and negative 98y. Okay, so now let's see what happens. Now when I click the flag, Ben will go here. He's going to say, hi, Devin and Abby. And then he's going to say, let's go to school. And then he's going to move, and then he's going to glide 10 steps. Glide 1 second here. Let's see how that goes. Now the one thing I felt it was a little too fast, so I'll make this 2 seconds instead. Let's see how it goes if I go 2 seconds. Hi, Devin and Abby, let's go to school. And then he moves a little bit, and then he glides. Nice and smooth, okay? So that's looking good, okay? Now the next thing we want to do is we want to add sound. We want to add sound to our animation. And that's very simple. You go to sound over here. And they give you some sounds that they think you would like, but we'll add our own sounds. We're going to go over here. Okay, so I'll show you again how I got that. I click on sounds, and then I click on this sounds. Okay, and I click down here, and I'm going to go this. So I'll show you one more time. I go to code, sound, and then I go to this sound. Okay, so if you're stuck on here, you got to go to sounds, and then you go sounds again, and then I search for a sound. And what do I want to do? I could try out any of these sounds I could put in there. Okay, I pick any of these. Now I know which one that I want. I want it's like a zoom sound, like it's a car going zoom. Let me see if I can put in here car zoom. Carve, this is what I want. Let's try. Okay, I'll put car zoom. That's what I want. So now I go back to code, and it says play carve room until done. Okay, so now what's going to happen with our code is Ben's going to be over here. He's going to say hi to Devin and Abby. He's going to say, let's go to school. He's going to move, and then he's going to glide across the screen, and he's going to play the sound carve room. So let's take a look. Okay, so that's our little animation. So here's what I would like the students to do this week. I would like you to first change your background, and you go down here, remember, and you change your background. I would like you to add in at least one sprite here, right? So go over here, and you add your sprite in, and if you want to delete somebody, you click on the garbage can, and they could disappear. Okay, so I want you to add in at least one sprite over here. Then I want you to use when flag clicked. I went to events, I brought the flag over, when flag click, and what I would like you to do is I would like you to have some purple blocks, which are say. I want the character to say at least two things, and I want some movement, and I want some sound. Okay, so those are what we're looking for. We're looking for a background, right? Background down here. We're looking for at least one sprite in here. We want movement, and we want him to say at least two things, and then we want sound. When you're done, you could save your work. You can go File, Save to your computer, and then you could have a copy on your computer. And then if you ever want to do it again, you go File, load from your computer, and then you could load your project back. When we're back at school next year, I will give you an account, and you will be able to save your work online. But it's a little bit too difficult now because we're not in school. So when you're done, once again, you can do File, and you could do Save to your computer. Then for Google Classroom, what I'd like you to do is please just take a quick picture. Just please take a quick picture of your project so that I could grade it, and I could see your code, and I could see your background and everything. So you just take a quick photo and upload that photo to Google Classroom so I could see your work. And it's up to you. If you want to keep a copy of this, you can do File and then Save to your computer as well. And we will continue with Scratch as the year progresses.